How's it going, everybody? I am the Crispy Critic, and today we are going to be reviewing a movie that I am very excited about. It's a South Korean horror movie called The Wailing. It's set in a rural village where this incompetent policeman named Jung-gu, who's played by the great Kwak Do-won, finds that a mysterious illness is sweeping through his home and driving those it infects to violence. So everybody's looking for answers, and naturally they blame this recently arrived Japanese outsider, who is never named. He's just the Japanese man, or the stranger, played by Jun Kunimura. And Jung-gu eventually comes to the villager's side and shares these suspicions about this man, especially when the illness reaches his daughter, whose name is Hyo-jin. When the illness reaches his daughter, he hires a shaman, Il-gwang, to cleanse her for good. I believe that The Wailing is a near-perfect horror movie, and here's why. Horror has never been a genre that relies on logic, narrative, coherent plot. It's always relied on establishing a very specific kind of feeling. That feeling is horror. Horror is not an easy thing to do. Establishing that tone and keeping it cohesive throughout a movie, especially one as long as The Wailing, which runs for 2.5 hours, is an incredible feat. But director Na Hong-jin achieves that kind of feeling very early on and maintains it for the entirety of the movie. It is just a wonder to watch. Now, I recognize that the movie was great from the get-go, but I didn't surrender to the movie until about 40 minutes in. 40 minutes in, there's a sequence that blew my fucking mind. It's a series of really muscular cross-cuts, very jarring sonic transitions. It begins very loud and chaotic. It's kind of formless, but it combines the film's visual language with the fundamental strengths of cinema as an art form incredibly well. And intensity of that magnitude can't be maintained without a set of well-rounded characters, and The Wailing does that very well too. The worst kind of horror movie treats its characters as fucking flesh dolls to be picked apart with hot pincers or chainsaws or shears. That's not what The Wailing does. The Wailing takes time to establish the characters so that the horror later on hits harder. So Kwak Do-won as Jung-gu and Kim Hwan-hee as Hyo-jin, his daughter, are great together. They have the lion's share of poignant moments in the movie. The thing about The Wailing that was really impressive to me was that it succeeds despite how disparate its parts feel. I mean, it really starts out as a crime drama, moves on to being a thriller, then into a possession movie, and underneath it all, I do believe it is a love story. It is relentlessly creative, ridiculously ambitious, and despite its small setting, absolutely epic. The only complaint that I would have is that the movie can't settle on what its antagonist is. Spoiler alert, it might be a demon? Maybe it might be a ghost. It's kind of a ghost and a demon. It is terrifying. It moves quickly despite its slow burn effect. It has great characters. It has a great story. Very powerful direction. I can't emphasize enough how fucking good Na Hong-jin is at establishing tension. It is a movie that is staggering in scale, absolutely insane in execution, and a reminder of the kind of magic movies are capable of. I would give it a 5 out of 5. For those who love horror, I think it's gonna agree with you very much. For those who don't like horror, you probably won't like it as much. It is horror through and through. But otherwise, I am the Crispy Critic, and thank you guys very much for watching this review of The Wailing.